Newsflash, it's Omni X-Men night, people. Welcome to Tuesdays and the Omni X-Men. This is the show where we're breaking down the Claremont run through the Omnibuy. We're on the second omnibus. Me and my partner, the swaggle guy here. We got KnowGood Comics, Justin.
Well, hello there, John. Got my Omni. I'm ready to go.
Woo!
What's
I like
up,
how
man?
we each have a different cover. We got both covers. Right?
Oh yeah. No, I got that one. I got one.
No, see, you got the updated one. Look, it's like this is the actual image from the book.
This is the edit. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't realize.
Look how sharper the art is on yours.
Oh my goodness, I want that one though. Damn it.
We can trade dust jackets.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Tuesday, Justin.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good. I'm pumped for this. I was saying backstage that this is like the first time that I have not read an issue prior. Like I've been, all these have been a second time around for me up until now. So this is the first one where I dove into it, fresh. And so yeah, excited to talk about this.
And we have an awesome guest hanging out backstage. The one collection down man himself. We got Phable.
Hey, shit.
What's up, brother?
Oh, man, just reading my Omni right here from Bad Idea. You don't like my Bad Idea Omni? No?
Nice. The invisible one. I like it.
So good.
Oh, man.
Good to see you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk Cyclops with us tonight, man.
Yeah. Anytime I get a chance.
We got so many Cyclops haters out there. We gotta throw down a little, throw some elbows with some people in the chat.
Yeah. I gotta like slap Brandon in the back of his head.
We've all been there.
What's wrong with you?
Every now and then.
Last night, I literally told him, we were talking about this. I said, Cyclops was created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Shut up.
And I know he's debating this brother battle right here.
Yeah.
And I know where I stand on that brother battle, but gotta watch out for that Brandon guy. I'm gonna say hello to some friends in the chat because it is bouncing in there. And we don't have a bouncer like Club No Good. We're letting everybody in right now. We got TM Nerdy Station to you. JP Budget Collecting. He is in the Camp Brandon. So, we got to watch out for him in the chat. He's already talking about smack on that.
Some trolling going on here. Yeah.
Gotta have it. We got Lasso. Ryan says, I'm going to post a joke about Man-Thing, but I don't want to come across cocky. Hello. By the way, my Man-Thing is giant size. Hello, everybody. And Ross.
Oh, Ryan.
John's late. Maybe he can't go on and pretend Cyclops doesn't suck anymore. John, we all know, admit the truth. It's the first step to recovery.
Wow.
Keep him coming, JP, all night.
Watching. J Hood saying, no more John Byrne. So sad. Yes, this marks the departure of John Byrne. We're on. We're moving on.
Yep.
Chet says, well, nice to have 48 of the 52 books we've covered, all with Stan Lee signatures. Wow. I don't think a Stan Lee copy of this one exists.
Wow.
I'm sure I ain't got one. So there you go.
Damn.
That's tragic.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing, though. I'm kind of still geeking on that. All right. So let's scroll down. We got John Norris in the chat. He says, what's good, brothers and sisters? Good to see you, sir.
Hey, John.
The unruliest of all the simians, my man Lane. How's it going? Good to see you.
Station unruly.
We got Steph. Station to you, Steph. How's it going, man?
That's definitely Team Havoc right there.
There's a troublemaker. You gotta watch him. Gotta watch out for those guys. Let's see who else we got here. Unruly saying Cyclops is the bestest of all the X people. Woo! I don't know that I would go that far. I'm definitely somewhere in the middle ground on that move there, but it's impressive. Chet says he's got 2 raw copies. I'm with you.
Nice.
No signatures, not slabbed, not burn. Ouch. There you go. So I'm with you on that one, Chet.
Yeah.
It's the only time that's ever going to happen. We got the Jackson Roy Kirk saying you might want to skip this episode. He's here for it. He's here for the
he's excited. JP's excited.
Cyclops haters are the sort of people who root for Voldemort. Goes out. You better dodge these bullets. They're coming fast. X-Men 97 and 96. I don't have any golden signatures on that one, my brother, but I do have a 96 of that one. Eric Duran, station to you, Eric. I hope you're doing well.
The man with the stash.
Let's see. I can't leave this. It's an intervention until they finally admit the truth. So good. You are lost, my friend. I believe you can find the way if you admit the truth. I love it. So yeah, we are talking about X-Men issue right here, 144. A classic sort of Cyclops solo story. A little bit of the other guys mixed in there, but really a Cyclops solo story. So definitely brings out the love and the hate. As a reminder, we end every Omni X-Men with some trivia questions about last week's issue and episode. So sticking around watching the show means you can win entry tickets to our raffles when we finish this omnibus off. So hang around, and if you watch this week's show, hang out next time on Justin's channel, because that's where you'll have trivia about tonight. The links for Justin and for Phable, all that stuff's down below. So make sure you've at least checked in, subscribed, hung out with all these homies, because you don't want to miss out on Whiplash Wednesdays. You don't want to miss out on Justin's shows on the weekends, Justin's edited videos during the week, Justin's shows when he's on other people's channels, Justin's 3 other live streams tonight. You don't want to miss out on any stuff. So that's important. But we're going to start off with first impressions and thoughts on this X-Men issue 144. Justin, the first time reading a Claremont issue in a long time that you have never read before. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so this was, well, one, I mean, we opened the page. I know we're going to get in details, but like seeing Man-Thing, I almost said Swamp Thing, seeing Man-Thing on the front, in the front. Actually, we saw it last week. I think there was like or you held something up, and I was like, "What? Like, is that Man?" You know, it just was like totally like, "Are we still on that, or are we on X-Men? Like, what are we reading?" Diving into this was way darker than I thought it was going to be. Even just some of the subject matter was darker. Not even just the idea of like a horror type thing, anyways, but like, topics of suicide and things of that nature. I mean, there was a lot of other directions that this book went that I wasn't expecting or wasn't, just wasn't prepared for. So I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, like just the horror vibe to it in itself, I was all on board with. Yes, like you said, it's very focused on Cyclops. I think overall, there were parts of the art that I loved, and there were some parts that I kind of questioned. So I was in the mix all around. I think overall, though, as a grade for this book, it would fall around 8.5 for me, which again is still very high. And with my scoring, like, very much loved it. But there were some things that I thought fell a little short, maybe towards the end of the story arc. And like I said, certain parts of art, kind of pulled me out for a second, but sure. Overall, definitely on board. And I did read this twice. So, just within the sitting, digitally did it once with Omnibus. So looking forward to talking more about it.
Nice. Yeah. Brother Joe, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. He says, John, the Mayor, and the Mighty Phable.
Yeah, man.
So, Phable, what are your thoughts on this issue? Oh, you're muted there. Sorry. What are your thoughts on this issue?
It was an interesting issue. Like Justin said, this introduction that happens in the beginning kind of is like, what's going on here? And then it gets into Cyclops, and then the whole despair character and everything he put Cyclops through. And like Justin said, it's super dark. The art, I'm wondering which piece of art you're talking about, because if it's the same piece of art that I'm talking about, I looked at it too. I was like, what the heck is it? But anyway, I loved it. It took me back to Chris Claremont and why I love Chris Claremont so much. The way he interweaves all this stuff. And just sets up the next issue, and it's great stuff. I loved it.
Yep.
And then what did you give a grade out of the CGC grades? What would you grade this one?
I'd probably give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
That's great, because I'm somewhere right around there. 8.0 is 8.0, 8.5 was somewhere where I was, so I think we're all in the same basic area.
Yep.
And I will agree with you guys that the art is, obviously, when you have these transitions, it's going to be inconsistent. There are panels that I'm like, dang, that looks beautiful. Like, that looks so cool, so creepy, and throwback to Alan Moore's Swamp Thing kind of stuff.
That was the vibe I got for some of it.
Some fun vibes from those kind of books where you get the creepy gothic kind of look, but yet still retaining the X-Men style. So I thought some of it came off really, really, really well.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the slideshow here, as we always do. And here we have that amazing cover with the Man-Thing and Brandon guest starring, because we know that this is his favorite X-Men. I put him right next to him, like they're posing together.
This is the wraparound cover, right?
This is wraparound,
and Brandon's there.
Most people don't look at the back cover. That's fine.
Right.
But if you do, you'd see Brandon right there. He's a big fan. But let's talk about this cover, Justin. What are your thoughts on this cover?
Yeah, so I mean, right away, it's very much a haunting type of cover. I don't know what to make of this kind of ghostly figure in the background. This face that we see, enlarged in the hands and everything, and then of course we see Man-Thing on fire, which I assume was not good, and so all of it was confusing in that, you don't know who Cyclops is shooting at. Like, did he mean to shoot at Man-Thing, or is he shooting at this scary clown thing behind him, or what's going on here? So it is definitely intriguing in that sense, and for that, I feel like, if I was walking by the shop, I definitely would still be interested to just see what the heck's going on. Also, the fact that Cyclops has returned, knowing that he's been out the past couple issues and kind of doing his thing here in Florida. I like that they did kind of shed some light on that in this issue. So just seeing him on the cover was just like, oh, okay, so he's back. Where is this going? And are the X-Men in this? Like, is it just him, or what the deal is? So but overall, I liked it.
And what about you, Phable? What are your thoughts on this cover?
I love this cover, man. Man-Thing is totally on fire, which I don't know if they would do something like that today. But man, you see him on fire, you kind of want to know what's going on, and you got Cyclops is shooting at this face. Doesn't look like it's phasing him at all. So you don't know if he's trying to save Man-Thing from this guy, or just trying to save himself because he's next. I mean, who knows?
Right. Yep. Yeah, I will agree. For me, my eye goes straight to Cyclops and the Man-Thing on fire. I don't know that I like that this head takes up so much of the page. I do like the excitement of it. So for me, I think this is definitely a cover that draws me in. I'm not a huge Man-Thing fan, but I'm a big enough Swamp Thing fan and obviously X-Men fan that I think this would still get me to purchase it right off the bat.
Yeah, I would say too that I know nothing about Man-Thing. I should clarify that, but I definitely enjoy Swamp Thing things that I've read. I wanted to ask you, Phable, why before we really get into the details, though, I meant to ask in the beginning, why did you, unless it was just a scheduling thing, I was curious why you chose to want to be on the show for this particular issue. Was there something generally special, or something you want to get into detail later, or whatever the case is, or was it just that we were certain scheduling just didn't line up and this?
Yeah, it was a scheduling thing.
It was okay.
Yeah, John hit me up, let me know what we were doing. I was like, hell, bet, man. Uncanny X-Men, I'm down for it anytime, any issue. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. I was just curious if it was something specific with Man-Thing or anything like that. Or are you familiar with Man-Thing?
I'm a lot like you guys. I'm not a big Man-Thing fan. Never really read Man-Thing comic books. Which, again, talking about Chris Claremont, he kind of makes me want to see what Man-Thing's about after reading this one.
Sure.
And Jackson Roy Kirk mentions that there is a Marvel team-up issue that gets referenced here as well.
Yes.
That I'll draw some notes on when we get to the end. But yeah, good point as well for expanding beyond this single issue.
Yep.
So let's dive right in. We start off with one of the panels I like the most, which is this cool swamp imagery here. Man-Thing sort of like lurking in the background, this emotional character committing suicide, got the gun, messing around with a photograph, a cigarette, and then getting ready to kill himself. And Man-Thing, I'm gonna do that all night.
Yeah.
Man-Thing watching sort of from the shadows there. What did you think about this starting point here? I'm gonna jump to Phable. What were your thoughts on that? Like this intro?
Super dark, man. Super dark. You got this guy over here, just going through saying, he's lamenting about something, and the captions are telling you who he is, what's going on. And I think this scene just sets it off perfectly, right? This guy's alone. He looks sad, he looks depressed, and the little panels with the gun are amazing. Mm-hmm. When I read this digitally, which maybe this is effective digital comics, but you know how you read the panel and the panel enlarges and goes side. And
it's my favorite.
Right. When it got to that part,
yeah,
it hit maybe a little harder than if I read it like, the whole thing,
Sure.
because it went from that to the gun to the clicking of the gun, and I'm like, oh crap, this guy's about to take his life, and then the next page, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
You see what happens.
You are spot on, Phable. That I echo that 1,000%. When it comes to the digital stuff, that scenes like that, like this, right, and leading up to what you're saying, the next page, it definitely adds this cinematic effect that you don't necessarily just get, turning a page, and no knock against physical, I like physical too, but there are those little things. So I'm with you, and the detail too of like the drawing of the gun and stuff like that. You get to see that up close, and I think it's really, really well done. The shading I was going to mention,
the light work,
the lighting
in the dark. Yeah,
I think that is awesome as well. It really sets the scene of this jungle type vibe. It is daytime, but it's also very dark in the sense of just the vibes that we're getting. Obviously, seeing Man-Thing, this creature who, again, not as familiar with. I'm just assuming he's got similar powers to Swamp Thing. I know we learn a little more of how his powers work with being drawn into feelings and things of that nature. Right. One thing I swear crossed my mind was on that right-hand panel when we get that, I don't know, that black smoke or whatever it is. I legit was like, is Venom in this too? Like, are we bringing Venom? Like, is that a symbiote right now? Like,
you mean like on the ground? Yeah, on the ground, right?
On the right,
middle, in that middle panel.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, this is bringing in a lot of different characters here. Where are we going with this? So, anyways,
it definitely has those vibes for sure. That's hilarious. Let's jump over to where those tendrils take life, which is this character Despair, who first appeared in Marvel Team Up 68. It's right there, Louise Simonson letting us know. And Despair sort of takes over the body of this person who just shot themselves, even though Man-Thing tries to stop him, and then Despair sort of sets him afire. What are your thoughts here, Phable, on what's going on between the Man-Thing and this new villain?
Well, everything that Justin said, I totally had that same thought. I was like, is this a symbiote? What's this thing crawling across Venom or whatever? But the way the panels are presented when he did shoot himself finally, showing things without showing them.
Yeah, the green.
Whoosh through the leaves and stuff, like awesome layout art layout, and I never heard of Despair before until this issue.
Yeah, me neither.
Here. So
I don't know that I've ever heard of him before or since. Yeah. So I feel like this is the one time I've ever come across the character. I know obviously they've mentioned several of the issues, but yeah.
But the way Claremont, even on the page before, the way he describes these things, he kind of fills in the blanks for you a lot in the way that he writes. So, I didn't like, not only did I not need to know too much about these guys to know what's going on with them, like Swamp Thing is motivated by emotions, and so is Despair in a lot of ways, right? They're like equal in a lot of ways with their power sets, you can say. He writes this in this way that you find out about these two characters real quick. And then when I seen him light Man-Thing on fire, I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna burn up to a crisp in like no time. Like, right.
Totally.
It was great. I love this sequence of panels here.
And Justin, what do you want to say about this one?
Yeah, no, Phable, you covered it, man. This is definitely well, as you said, like just the context of it, the explanations and the boxes that we get in the very beginning. I think explain everything really well. And you're already now in this like sense of, okay, wait, so Man-Thing's more of a good guy because this guy kind of crept in out of nowhere and then he attacked Man-Thing. So like, that's not cool. So like, I'm starting to put the pieces together that at least, who we rooting for, who we not. And obviously, this Despair guy making this guy essentially kill himself, very dark. That blam, love that. Love the flowers and stuff, or the leaves kind of, flickering there.
And then the hand holding the pistol,
on the ground,
the
smoking
on the hand and the smoking gun.
Very true.
Like, damn, that's a ton of time on that.
The detail, yeah. And then I also like the panel all the way to the right of seeing Despair, showing that Despair's in this guy essentially. His how scary he is. The human face. It looks so creepy. And I mean, that's like the vibe I would picture for describing the scene I just seen. So I think in that sense, as we talked about how some of the art's like really great and then some of it's really kind of questionable, that's one of the pieces I really liked, was seeing some of this horror type stuff. Again,
the blending,
going back to like the Alan Moore Swamp Thing stuff, like it kind of reminded me of some of that stuff.
John Stott with a very good line. Scott is the 77th best X-Men.
I can get behind that, John.
Well played.
I can get behind it.
By the way, I like Chet said despair tire. That was good.
The despair tire.
I'll give you that one, Chet.
All right, moving along here, we cut to Fisherman Cyclops. He's got a boat. He's a fisherman guy now.
John with the gifts.
He's living the life. That's my boat.
I love that movie. I love it.
It's a great movie. I could not help. Every single time it was him as a fisherman, I was thinking of Forrest Gump the whole time. Just jumping on, I'm a fisherman now.
Yeah.
And this sequence, I'll talk on first just because I think it's just bizarre and hilarious. Like, so he's working on the boat, he gets in an argument with a guy, and then like within seconds, no, we're all good. I love you, man.
Yeah.
We're all good. Let's go have a beer. Like this amounts to just nothing in the end. It's like it's story for just a blank space. Really just weak. It doesn't even like create any kind of real conflict because it's resolved almost as fast as it arises.
Right.
Just drove me this a little bit irked John. Justin, how are you feeling about Cyclops the Fisherman?
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I mean, they used up one page, I guess. Well, more like two, I guess. It's like full two for this whole scene thing. Yeah, the fight scene was very random. Do they get into the pool section? Oh no, that's a little later. Okay,
no, that's a little later.
Yeah, that initial fight was very, very random for sure. But I didn't know what they were trying to show otherwise. I know that. I mean, him looking back at the letter is just kind of reminiscing. I get that. You know, I feel like they could have just went right to that. Essentially, I don't know.
Yeah. What is up, Mark the Cuddy Sark? How you doing, man?
What's up, Mark?
Phable, any thoughts on Scott the Fisherman?
Yeah, it was a little silly when he got into the fight with this guy, and then they're shaking hands all of a sudden. But it's cool too because it gets to catch you up on where Scott is. You know, as weird as it is, you know, he's doing his what do you call it? The Superman, Man of Steel. He's doing his Fisherman, Man of Steel. That's what superheroes do, by the way. When they're depressed,
they find their life back in the sea.
Yeah, they go to boats and stuff like that. And I don't know, was it this scene? Was it this page that establishes that guy was her father?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I don't remember that.
Okay,
that guy's not her father, is it?
No, the guy from the beginning.
The guy that shot himself is the girl's father. Yes.
Right. Does any of this panels reference that?
Yes, it does. It's on the upper left corner. The one this one right next to me at the very bottom of this panel. It says it's not surprising that Arcadia is a fine ship skippered by Aletheus Forrester, Jock's only child, one of the best captains on the coast, and his crew is superb. Reading that
justified the first few pages. It was like,
it can how it connects. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Otherwise, it's like random, right? Like, otherwise, it feels random. Yeah,
it gets intriguing at that point. It's like, snap! And then at the same time, you know, he's reeling over Jean, right? And then you got this girl pining on him.
Yep.
Which is also pretty cool.
The hottest fisherwoman in all of the Florida, wherever they are.
And this also reminds me of the old Jim Shooter adage, where it's like every comic book got to be the first comic book you read, kind of thing. So you got to make it like if it's somebody's first time reading. So I love how Cyclops always like, well, if I can't control my optic quartz blast, I'll destroy everything. Like we already know this, right? But he's explaining it. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Totally.
By the way, I saw
Jay Hood asked.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say
it's Brent Anderson.
Yeah,
and I'm not certain of anything else Brent Anderson has done. So if anybody is like a Brent Anderson fan, I'm very sorry that I don't know and I'm not aware.
And Joseph Rubinstein doing the inking.
Yes. And there was somebody else. I'm sorry, Glennis Wine, which I believe.
For the colors. Yeah,
on the colors.
Yep.
All right, so moving right along, we move to the X Mansion, where they are apparently fixing the X Mansion. Wolverine, they're cutting things up and they're throwing everything in the dumpster. If you can't read, that bottom one says, bring your brooms because it's a mess.
Okay.
It's a lot to clean up. And my favorite part about this whole sequence, and you guys, if you want to get into it here in a second, is Angel being useful in the one and only way.
I knew you were going to bring
Angel
that up.
can be useful. Oh, Professor wants me. Oh, I'm so excited. It's got to be something important. And he flies in. He's like, I've been looking at the cost of the danger room. If you need money, sir, all you have to do is ask. I appreciate that, Warren. I'm glad I can count on you. Now get the hell out of here because I don't need you for anything else. So yes, anybody want to talk about how the X-Men clean up Kitty's mess?
I know there's a lot of jokes about not liking Cyclops, or there's fans that are not not fans of him but fans of everyone else. Is there a section of fans that think that way about Warren Worthington here, Mr. Angel? Okay, yeah, because I don't like anything I've read about him.
Saying station where actually
agree.
Yeah, like he just seems like such a dry character, and a character that I feel wouldn't be real, because I just feel like, I don't know, the luxurious life he lives, he like wouldn't do that. I don't know that it's just a weird character, I think, to me overall. And I haven't read much, so I can't like speak on it in the sense of my experience to it. But
Chet, come on. His strongest superpower is his bottomless wallet.
See, okay,
yes,
okay, fair. That's fair. Then.
Everybody needs a friend like that, right? Angel is more useful than Cyclops just because of the money, right? I mean, that's it. That's really it, right?
When they were showing this,
also Angel is completely useless.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, that was a 1-2 punch. I did not see coming, but I'm glad I was there for it. Sorry,
the part where they're cleaning up and they're throwing stuff in the top part where him and Storm are actually throwing stuff into the garbage. Yeah, I was wondering where they're gonna go with Wolverine, because when I flash down to Wolverine, they're throwing stuff away, and Wolverine, and it just shows him slicing. I'm like, how would that help anything? Right. And they do clarify what he's doing is helping, but
we're not supposed to make the mess.
Right. I just picture him like slashing everything and going everywhere. Yeah, and it's like been 2 weeks, they said, right? It's been like multiple weeks that they've been cleaning, which is crazy.
You can't really hire a crew to do the construction because they got to be like, what is this place? Right?
Yeah, true.
Although I guess Xavier could just mind wipe them when they're all done.
There you go. Yeah.
I already paid you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phable, any thoughts on the X-Men Danger Room rehab program?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird stretch. I mean, these guys aren't construction workers. All of a sudden, they're doing a cleanup crew for all this.
Yeah,
damage.
Right.
Yeah, and I also found it strange that I don't know why I thought this, but I thought Xavier was also like ridiculously rich. I found it weird that he was hitting up Angel for some money, but
he's not Angel rich. Nobody's Warren Worthington rich.
Yeah, he's not shaking it there.
He's like, I don't want to dip into my trust fund, Angel. Can you help me out here?
Yeah, right.
This is white people problems.
But as hokey as all of this is, it also is a great character development. This is where characters get to breathe. They don't necessarily have to do anything. They're just going through their day-to-day. And it's one of the things I appreciated about Claremont's run is that we have days like this where they're just cleaning. I mean, the last issue, was that the one where the Brood attacked the mansion and Shadow Cat was by herself?
The demon monster that attacked it, yeah.
All right, yeah, that's one of my favorite issues right there.
Christmas.
And that started off as a ho-hum, we're in the house hanging out kind of thing.
Right.
So I love this kind of stuff, even as hokey as it is, as ridiculous as it is. But Chris Claremont at least gives you the, like you said, Wolverine, what the hell is he going to do? It's like, oh, no, he's breaking down into smaller parts. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least, like, to your point, that they're not, like, just skipping it. Like, oh, it's all fixed next week. Like, no, they've got to, like,
they take time
do
to
the
show
work,
Yeah.
So at least I do appreciate that it's not just like when a character gets shot in one comic and the next comic they're not even injured anymore. They're just right. It's like I like it when the injury sustains a little longer.
Oh yeah. And this is a way for him to just keep interjecting other storylines, just keep weaving them. This page doesn't really go with anything that's going on in this comic book,
right?
But it keeps you in tune. Like, hey,
right,
we're still The X-Men is still over here doing this, so just keep in mind.
True. And if you miss last issue, it allows them to kind of be like, hey, if you're not sure why this happened, go read last issue.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move along here. We have some characters talking and joking a little bit about what happened. I think it's some funny, taking some shots at Kitty Pryde, like, hey, she's ruined the whole mansion. And I thought it was pretty funny. She's like, it's all right, I can take it. And then they're like, okay, well, let's make a couple more jokes. And then she's like, I can't take it anymore. She goes running through the wall outside where Nightcrawler shows up with a jacket, and he's like, hey, Liebchen, how are you doing? And they have a little conversation where, of course, he's the only sensitive one after Wolverine took some I thought some really good shots. Any thoughts here, Justin?
Yeah, I the way Wolverine's drawn here is like very jarring.
Dollar bills, y'all. Let's see what I got for you.
Nice to you.
Yeah, here you go.
Wow, a super chat. Thank you. You.
Thanks, TM.
That's great.
Sorry, what were you saying, Justin?
Just the artwork on the, I guess, third panel in of Wolverine, the way he's like standing there and everything. He doesn't it's not pose. It's not normal. Yeah, it really took me there. And a googly eye, kind of looking like a googly eye. But I get where they're going with this, the teasing and all that. But yeah, it's a good point you make too, that like she's like, I'm good, and then literally one more joke goes by, and she's like, I'm done, I can't take it.
And like for me, it was part and parcel with the like fighting with the fishermen. Now we're friends with the fishermen.
Right?
It was like, I handle the jokes, now I can't handle the jokes. In like one panel, it's like
dramatic. Yeah,
a little bit much.
Agreed.
That's my Whiplash Tuesday right there.
There you go.
What about you, Phable? Any thoughts on poor Kitty Pryde here getting teased relentlessly? This 13-year-old getting teased by Wolverine.
Again, I love this stuff. This is that hokey character development. You get to know that Kitty's probably a little more sensitive. You know that Kurt, he feels bad for joking. Wolverine. Now, Wolverine, I've never seen this thing from him before, or at least I don't remember him being this wisecracking guy.
Right.
And I'm with Justin. This is the hokiest, goofiest Wolverine face I've ever seen drawn. I mean, both those panels. And thanks for the digital stuff, because I zoomed in on his face.
Yeah, you're like,
and I was like, what the hell is this? Who approved this? Where did this go? So I was kind of stuck on that for a little bit. But, I love this stuff.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, moving right along, we get to that billiards bit we were talking about, where Cyclops really just shows everybody up with his incredible cheating talent. Any thoughts here, Phable, on Cyclops the billiards hustler?
I was like, why would you use your powers and endanger your secret?
Risky.
Yeah, why would you risk yourself just to like impress people with your pool playing? Like you said, cheat. I'm like, no, this is kind of ridiculous. This is where I kind of drew the line a little bit.
And Justin, any thoughts?
I just really like the usage of GIF here. This is really well done. I think very accurate, basically, to what happened in the scene.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, basically when your opponent turns their back for a distraction, there's a lot you can do in the table there.
Exactly.
For me, it's another example of a portion of the story that like amounts to nothing. Right? Like, is there any value out of this other than him showing off that he has this ability?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. I can keep going.
I mean, maybe he was trying to impress the girl, but I don't know. I don't think so.
No, because she was on the phone.
Right.
He's like, no, she's on the phone. Whatever. Then she does get a phone call. Oh, I got to go home. My dad's got some problem. And we're like, okay, now it's connecting, right? Dad in the story. So we jump on the whatever those things are called, the airboats, whatever they're called, and zip over to the mansion because everybody owns a mansion if you're in an X-Men book. And then we meet her dad, who instantly, which I think is hilarious. Why even put on the costume if like in 2 panels, you're like, nope, I'm done being your fake dad. I'm really the bad guy.
Yeah.
Another moment which amounts to just nothing.
Yeah.
And instantly, like, sorry, I need to catch my his elaborate ruse is he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call my daughter long distance. I'm gonna get her I'll drive all the way. She gets here, she runs up the stairs, and then I'm just gonna slap her off the stairs. Yeah, that's my master plan. If Cyclops hadn't been there, she'd die from the fall, and he's like, okay, who do I call next? Like, this is your plan? Just slap her off the stairs, and that's it.
Maybe he wanted a hug first, you know?
Yeah.
The one panel there, this was another panel that kind of just had me kind of do a double take, and it's on the bottom right hand corner. It's when he is actually slapping her, backhanding her.
Yeah.
Do you see how her head is like not there essentially?
The coloring and the inking lost her hair in that background yellow color.
Yeah, I thought that was like kind of weird. And then you're missing the peg of, the stair peg.
Yeah, because her hair should be like, I think it's just an inking problem more than anything.
Okay.
They should have inked her hair better. Then you would see how it's kind of covering the banister there. But yeah, totally right. And I just love his pose where it looks like an accident, like something from Airplane, where he's like, let me show you around my house. And then like knocks her off the balcony and she dies. Yeah. She hugged him, and then he'd had enough. I mean, that was it. This is a man who lost his woman to death in a volcano in space and still keeps hooking up.
I'm telling you.
Oh, wait, I think we're back to talking about Cyclops again. Sorry.
That
might have been Cyclops. Well, let me skip on to the next panels here, because then it gets buck wild. All of a sudden, the mansion is a crazy devil temple, and we're just flashing through Cyclops' mind. And the villain is announcing that he is despair, which is never a good thing. And he retells the story of how Cyclops and his brother survived the plane explosion that killed their parents, although we already know the dad is still alive. And the parachuting tragic fall that went thereafter. Any thoughts here on some of this fable, of this retelling of some of the origin of Cyclops?
I don't know if this is the first time they ever covered his past. I
could have sworn they had retold this already once before. I thought there was but I bet I could be wrong. I thought they had discussed some of this before.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Chet knows for sure.
Yeah.
I could have sworn they'd mentioned this earlier when they mentioned in like Havoc's first appearance or something like that. One of those issues.
Okay. Because I was reading it thinking like, oh my God, is this the first time they go over this stuff? And I was just like really hooked. I wanted to. It's like I haven't read this stuff in a long time, or I don't remember it too well. How it really went. So I was really excited when I came across these panels. And just on the panel before where you talking about him smacking the girl, I thought that was the coldest panel, right? Because it was like that. It was like psych.
Yeah.
And then they're in, like you said, this freaking Temple of Doom thing comes out of nowhere in their neighborhood. And weird stretch. I mean, does everybody have a hydroplane and pull up to mansions in hydroplanes?
Good.
Yeah, this sequence really captivated me because I was really interested in really reading what happened,
So X-Men 108 and slightly in 109, they went through some of the because it was when in the issue when we see the Star Jammers and we see that his dad is still
they
alive,
hint to it, right?
They mentioned the plane crash. Justin, any thoughts on the Temple of Doom that magically appeared here?
I mean, I was thinking of like the Reality Stone in that sense. Like I didn't really count it out. I knew he had mental type of powers of some sort. So I'm like, okay. Right. Like, he's just seeing this, like, it's not real. Essentially, the way I took it was like, it's all in his head now at this point. And then we immediately go right into these flashbacks, which, I definitely was looking forward to just getting, even though it wasn't like true stories, it was like haunting versions of a lot of the stories that he kind of lived through. And that's where I was saying before too, with like, not even just the gun scene in the beginning, but these scenes were pretty dark too, and just either sad or dark or people dying. You know, I know other panels that we get to, like people like laying around dead or injured. You know, so it's like he's battling the reality stone right now in his own head, kind of.
That's a cool description. I like that.
With everything, yeah.
And I will say I love the panel layouts on these pages too, where the sizing and the shaping is very kind of odd, especially on the right-hand side there where you see the skinny parachute falling and it has no panel borders. And then that Cyclops in the bottom right corner with the layered images on top of him. I love it. And then right above him, there's a strange couple little stripy ones that are just like, look like they're part of a different panel. There's some real fun artistic kind of elements in this for me.
Agreed.
And then, of course, all the smoke monster stuff as the plane's on fire at the top there. Another symbiote first appearance.
I do like that one panel, too, where his arms are open. It kind of like a Phoenix Rising type of thing when he's first saying his name. The lighting and all that, those are always cool kind of poses.
Yeah, absolutely. And right underneath that one, you have another couple of little pieces that look like they're from that panel above it, but they're broken up. I love how it's like that shattering kind of going on.
Yep.
And then, like you said, we jump to previous moments. We jump to early X-Men pre-new team stuff with Lorna and Havoc. Then we jump to some new team stuff at the same time, fighting some robots and just sort of jumping through moments in history. But they seem to be changing because obviously, like you said, we have Havoc basically dying here. Any thoughts here on Justin on this moment?
This is like exactly like just seeing some of the team laid out there, and clearly it's at this point, you know, as you're getting into it, like clearly this is all some sort of dream in his head. He is being haunted by, like, he's not able to save everybody, or getting attacked by his team, essentially, who look like these Sentinels.
They're like Sentinels. Robotic,
which is actually kind of a cool concept to think about. Like, what if, you know, some of the X-Men were like, they created Sentinels that like looked like them or something like that.
Which is that
like,
issue
kind of
100 when it's new team versus old team.
Oh yeah, like that.
Remember they had so there's some of that kind of flashbacking going on here. Right?
Totally. Yep.
Phable, any thoughts on these panels here?
What struck me here immediately is the imagination. Claremont's imagination, how he's detailing these weird occurrences, these bizarre, giant robots or whatever made out of his team members. Imagining this stuff before we can actually do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before we could actually put it on screen and make it look how they're imagining it now, which just struck me because I was like, man, these guys had so much imagination, so much, just creative talent, man. And I love that panel at the last corner where his shirt is ripped and he's like, I love that.
Yep. Or I love the one up at the top where it's like slicing Wolverine in half. So cool looking.
Totally.
Which obviously continues on because then we get like the zombie X-Men kind of across the top there. And I split these up, but the truth is they're like all layered on top of each other, these next few panels, where Colossus's foot is kind of like touching the zombie Colossus at the top. Like, I love the way these are all layered together, this sort of rising from the grave to haunt Cyclops. Any thoughts here, Phable, on Cyclops dealing with these memories?
It just continues on with the imagination from the other panels, just dealing with this crazy. He doesn't know what he's going through. He doesn't know what madness he's in. And, seeing his brother. I mean, that's a beautiful rendering of him as a zombie.
Oh my gosh!
It's very creepy. Yeah, and his teammates coming to attack him. I mean, he's like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Totally. Justin, is this the first appearance of Marvel Zombies?
Yeah, I think it should be noted for sure. Yeah, or at least Marvel X-Men or Zombie X-Men Zombies. Something, I don't know how we'll title that, but I love this. I love the again, keeping it with these dark vibes. Like, this was a nightmare. I mean, this really just transformed into this really dark nightmare that seemed to be never ending in a sense, because he's constantly jumping from scene to scene, trying to resolve or save whoever it is in that particular scene, and it just keeps getting worse. And now this happens. So I love, as you have here, like the panel layout, seeing the team up top and then underneath the next pick. I don't know if you have the one after this, but I love.
I can go right now.
Oh, do you? Okay, so I love the green Cyclops at the top left there. Love that panel.
And you can see his feet dangling at the top there because they're from the previous panel.
Yes, from the top.
I wanted to give each one a big enough size so you can really see it.
Wow. Yep. So
this
it's
is
things
where the
like
art
that
was really shining.
That's right. It's things like that where I'm like, man, I feel very 0 to 100 on liking certain things and not liking certain things when it comes to the art, because I love that panel there and a lot of these panels and the panel layouts. And then obviously we had some that we questioned, earlier on as well. So it's a little back and forth, which is okay, and it all works out in the end. But this was like well worth it to see this stuff.
And yes, Magic Lasso, we get Jean. We get all the different Jean costumes. We get Jean in her underwear with her booty hanging out. We get all Jean that you could possibly.
Now I understood why he missed her so much after seeing these panels.
Yeah. So Phable, what do you think of the way they're using Jean here? Because clearly it's torturing Scott in a way that the other dreams couldn't.
They're just going down his most tragic moments. And basically how he feels about these moments, right? Like he's like, this didn't happen before. My brother didn't die before, and now look at my team is attacking me, and look at my wife, and it's just haunting him. It's a haunting thing, and me and Brando go back and forth with the Cyclops and the Havoc thing, and he says Cyclops doesn't have any character development, and I'm like, read this issue, bro.
And here 144. Jay Hood is totally agreeing with you. He says, I think modern writers could learn a lot about character development and pulling from past story beats like this. This is going all the way 45 issues prior, right?
Yeah,
I totally agree. And I think, current Nightwing does the same thing, digging way deep in Dick Grayson's story arcs to pull impactful moments and draw more from them.
Yep.
Justin, what do you think of Jean's booty here?
The transition and seeing all the different outfits, especially since we had just kind of gone through it. I just love that we get to see all of it again, like all the different stages, and how scary she can look. I mean, especially as the Dark Phoenix, like she looks like a witch, like evil, like very much. I'd be terrified if I was Scott right there. So towards the end when she changes and turns into Dark Phoenix, and her face, and I appreciate that some of the text that she has still the bubble is still shown to represent that it's
that jagged edge,
right? Yeah, that it's not really her, that it is in fact despair, in his way of talking. So I like that they kind of clarify.
But it's also that Dark Phoenix font as well in some ways.
Oh, that's
she
true.
Would speak, it has that same intonation, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Again, I think these panels really great. I love the cathedral, like the long hallway out before them, but all kind of leading to the wedding. Let's get married. And
no wedding gift here, John. No wedding gift, man. I thought
wedding.
for sure
I didn't have enough room to fit a gift.
Like wedding singer or something. Oh, man. Missed opportunity.
Marriage is what brings us. I love the throwback here to the moment when Phoenix said she could control his optic blasts. Let me take your mask off, because that wasn't that long ago,
right?
And of course now the script gets flipped and we see Cyclops blast her and have to deal with that trauma of that. This is the one moment that irks me on the Cyclops side.
Yeah,
he just jumps out the freaking window.
Yeah.
He's like 6 stories up and he jumps to his death. That's a little bit of a transition that I did not buy it for him. I don't know.
John, you don't jump out of the window when you have conflict like that?
I mean, he clearly thought he reblasted his wife and he's dealing with all these things, but like that is and on top of which we'll get to the next bit in a little bit here, but like that's a serious fall. Dude should be dead. He should be dead. He does not have any mutant abilities that heal him or keep him to survive a fall.
Nope.
Not that I'm aware of. Justin, any thoughts here on the end of this sequence?
Yeah, no, great point on that. Yeah, I know. I like that they kind of painted this out as this is one of his biggest nightmares is, hurting or killing the woman he loves and misses, and to just kind of relive that moment, because we, like you said, we did see that when they were up on the mountain by themselves for a little bit, saw that same thing, and her power to be able to control, his blast, that is the true nightmare, is him accidentally killing loved ones, with his mutant powers.
I love this. Jackson says, are people actually comparing Nightwing with Cyclops? We're going to wait for the explosion at JP's house.
Yeah.
Man. So good. I love it. I thought Promiscuous had some comics. Can you show me some? I've avoided all the movies and the comics. He needs more information. He needs some help with that. It's all right. John, don't get me started. I found out that Red X is Brick Pederoso. I don't even know who that is. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. We got Dale in here. What's going on, Dale? Been good to see you.
What's up, Dale?
Thank you for coming by. We got Johnny Boy. Good to see you, Johnny.
Nice.
No big loss. I mean, that's harsh. That's harsh. Should I just keep rolling on to the next bit here?
Well, these panels, I just want to say these panels are cold too, man. These things are cold too, because you know, first when you lift up your eyeglass, everything, I was like, what a sucker. Like, you just went through all this stuff in the last few pages and you believe this shit?
Right.
Like,
at this point, don't believe a thing. Yeah.
Right.
And then he blasts her, which I thought they were being pretty nice about it, because I would have figured he would have melted her head off, like at the position he's in the previous panel. But
he's gonna melt her.
The way he fell too, I thought he was dead. Like I thought he was really dead.
Right.
But I don't think he ran out the window. I think because it says he flees in terror, and this place is warped, so maybe a window just appeared in front of him or something.
I mean, and maybe to that point, this is all an illusion. So the height of the fall and all of these things are
he didn't actually fall that far.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
He looks like Daredevil there for a second, in that one red scene. The scene where I get they're trying to do like a red shading, but I'm like, what is Daredevil doing? The top right there.
Oh yeah, he does have a bright red. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, he runs in terror, so clearly it's not the Man Without Fear.
That's right.
All right, moving on. Quick change time.
Yeah. Yes.
So, all right. So I had to call this out. This part, I don't know. He brought luggage. He brought luggage. Okay. He brought luggage. It was right there where he needed it. Okay. It's got his full costume in it. He just fell out a window. He looks dead in the first panel right here next to me. He gets up. He kind of straightens his shirt a little bit. Runs off. And gets in his full gear. Dude looks ready to rumble. So I don't know, Justin. What's going on here, man?
These gifts are what's going on, right? That's what's going on. These gifts are great. You missed the wedding opportunity, but you definitely made up for it.
My favorite is the guy with like the doors closed and it opens, and he's like, I don't know what's going on with that guy. The steam comes down.
Yeah. So I mean, the main part here to take away is seeing bringing Man-Thing back into the story a little bit. Again, we are technically what feels to be in this false reality, so I'm still kind of questioning like what's real, what's not. But it seems like Man-Thing is definitely there. That's for real. I don't know where the swamp came from, but that part. Oh, I guess he's coming from where the airboat initially. Assuming they're in front of the mansion still, if that's really the mansion. So I guess that is accurate. And then he thinks for a second, like I gotta fight this guy, or oh wait, no, he's not after me. He's going around me. That could have been a mess right there if he just started going at it with Man-Thing and huge miscommunication. Like one of those.
Man-Thing doesn't really communicate.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. But yeah, I agree that the change of costume it is a bit out of nowhere in a sense, and
I would have loved to see him try to struggle through not having the quartz visor and try to make it work.
Oh,
I think I would have appreciated MacGyver-ness of it all. You know, I don't know. That's just me. What about you? What about you, Fable?
Oh man, I can't agree with you guys more, man. He looks destroyed in that first panel, right? He looks like his legs and everything are twisted.
Right here. Yeah.
And then he gets up, like you said, he straightens himself out. And Man-Thing is coming. He's like, oh shit, Man-Thing. Oh well, I gotta get home. And that panel confused me because I didn't notice the duffel bag. But the panel where he's running towards what looks like a construction site or another house,
right,
or something, I'm like, did this guy just run across town?
Yeah,
and get his
I think it's supposed to be the fan boat or the airboat.
While the roaring Man-Thing.
It looks like a yellow pickup truck. I can't. It's right at his feet.
Yeah, so it was a little weird. It was very weird. Sorry,
it was you know what it was for me? It was too easy.
Yeah,
and that's what I think really bugged me about it.
I was gonna say, when you run in terror, sometimes you can get anywhere you want to go, like across town, like that.
You run straight to your luggage.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think this is a form of editing here? Like,
it could be.
Maybe he has more story than could fit on the pages, so it's like, you know.
Or they didn't want to waste time with that.
Yeah, we got to cut this out.
Move on. Yeah, could be. Could be. Well, let's see how it all works out here. These were some of the best, in my opinion, colored panels in the entire thing here. All the work with light and fire. I just thought this was lights out. I don't know about you, Justin, but this was I was blown away.
Yeah, no, 100%. The fire, even the top left one, that first panel there, totally brings me back to just brings me back to like the Alan Moore stuff, like just kind of keeping it in this horror type of story arc. We continue to get that, especially in a dark, evil looking mansion, with shadows and things like that. And then just the bright reds, the oranges, like in the background, tied into his optic blast, all that stuff. Beautiful stuff for sure.
Absolutely.
Where are you at, Fable? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I agree so much. That scene where he's looking upward.
Yeah.
And you see the different yellows.
And the Man-Thing.
Or greens. Green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful color work. They had such a limited panel, but palette to work with, and they used it.
Yeah. Yep. And then I love the across right next to you, Fable, the 3 in a row there, where it's like the blast, and then a little closer to the demon, and then the really close to Despair's face, where it's like almost a skeleton face. Really fun use of paneling there too.
Yeah, and he's like laughing at him there, right? That's the scene where he's like,
he says,
basically saying he's immortal.
Precious eye beams may be effective against a mortal foe, youngling, but Despair is immortal. Physical force cannot harm me. Yeah,
I like how he refers to himself there.
Yeah, which is fun because I think Cyclops thinks it through and he's like, "Well, let's try something different. I'm not gonna fight with the blasting here. I'm gonna do something different."
Yep.
Which leads us to this crazy battle here where it's just like stuff's blowing up, people getting slapped around, there's hugging, it's just chaos reigning right here. And that's a little Boondock Saints. If you,
I was just gonna ask what that was.
The ballet of just tragedy going on here. Let me hug the bad guy, and then he's gonna blast me, and then slap me away, and then the Man-Thing's on fire, and he's gonna tackle him. Everybody's getting hugs here, lots of hugs. Justin, what is your thoughts on the finale here?
Yeah, I mean, I like that he like full on charges, like in that last panel he had before this one. He just straight tackles him, and this is him like falling into him now at this point. And he's starting to realize, right? He's starting to figure out a new strategy here on not just trying to shoot with his eyes per se, but to actually figure out a tactic that's going to work and that ties Man-Thing into the whole thing, right? And this whole capturing the feelings and him having to stir up his thoughts again about some sad things about Jean, but how he was still strong in those times. And that's something that was lacking for, I know this all was like metaphorical. A lot of this was like the way it was resolved essentially. I had to go back and read this twice because it was like, I wanted to make sure I understood it exactly that of how that really worked. And it's clever. It's clever that, for them to kind of put all this together the way it did. So yeah, very cool. And then Man-Thing at that point is now that Despair doesn't have the power over him, Man-Thing can go and do his thing and reverse the fire essentially and beat the crap out of him at that point.
Yeah, to your point, they rob him of his power of having fear and despair in his, Man-Thing and Cyclops being unwilling to just give in. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Man-Thing feeding off of Cyclops' confidence.
His hope. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
It totally like empowered him.
Yes.
Which is
Absolutely.
an interesting, not knowing nothing about Man-Thing.
Right.
Now I know some cool stuff about him.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Cyclops, of course, rescues the girl who was apparently just laying at the bottom of the stairs for this entire issue.
Forgot about Lee.
Yeah. Oh, there's a woman in this issue.
Yeah.
It was all about Man-Things until now. Then Cyclops runs her outside. The mansion just is burned and destroyed. And Man-Thing walks out and is like, I don't know what happened. This was a crazy game. I'm just going to cruise back to my swamp because it's way better out here. And that's it. And then they get in the fan boat and they go away. It's all done.
Yep.
That's some of my favorite paneling right there with the Man-Thing rising.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's like shaped like that, like a scarecrow or something. And then they just show his face. He kind of turns and just stammers away,
Yep. That is something I meant to say earlier too, Phable. I like that you use the word scarecrow because a lot of this or like the horrors and the mind games made me think of like a character like Scarecrow in DC and just like the tricks he plays with Batman and others, and making them kind of feel things. I mean, obviously this is all about fear, right? So it makes sense that I even thought, was thinking that. I meant to bring that up earlier because yes, it did kind of make me think of those or that character.
Dale saying, if you know nothing about Man-Thing, there's some good stories ahead. There you go.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
And another interesting reveal about Man-Thing. He's basically immortal when he's in Florida or next to a swamp or something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because
I'm saying that.
He burned twice in this comic.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this guy still going right now?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that they kind of clarified that at the very end that he what was the verbiage there? Like that he's basically
the swamp gave birth, the swamp sustains him.
Sustains. Right. Yep. It was very cool.
And that's pretty much it. Any last thought? Sorry, Brandon says I love Cyclops now more than ever.
Wow, it's really come around to him now.
Really, this issue really changed him. So much so that he couldn't be in the chat. He was burdened with the emotion that he had after this, and I get it. I get it. So
great.
Sorry. Any last thoughts on the issue before we get into some of the math here, Justin?
Just loving this wraparound cover. It's great. No, I think we covered it. I think it's definitely, again, from coming at it at a first time type of thing. I would continue to recommend these series, this story as we go along. I did enjoy it overall, and I think there's some things to take away from it for sure.
Thank you.
Phable, any last thoughts?
I love the use of Man-Thing and Despair. Playing off of each other. They have the same kind of thing going on, and it was used to a good effect to tell the story, the contrast and the similarities between them.
Yeah.
I had a point to this. I was gonna say. I
want to go back?
Yeah. I'll think of it.
The sad sauntering away of the Man-Thing.
I got it. I love how at the end the narrator reveals himself to be this character. And that it did this classic thing for me from back in the days when something like that would happen, that would intrigue me to start reading other Marvel comics. That would lead me. This issue has about 4 or 5 different ways you can I want to know what happened here. I want to know what happened here now. And at the end, I didn't recognize that name at all. So I had to Google him, and then I did my research on him. And I'm like, wow, you see, this is how it used to be for me when I collected comic books. Yeah. I used to see these names or be so intrigued by who the heck is that? And that's what got me into other issues. So
nice.
Takes flame licking and keeps on ticking. Man-Thing. There you go. So to your point, Phable, this issue definitely highlights a lot of back issues you might want to read. So this issue highlights issue 108 when Scott and Alex escape a plane crash, 132 when Jean removes Scott's visor, and 59 the original Team versus Sentinels issue with Havoc that they reference as well. We mentioned issue 101 when they fight the androids. Despair first appeared in Marvel Team Up issue 68, which by the way I learned Claremont and Byrne did that issue.
Cool.
Wow.
So that is a Claremont and Byrne piece, that Marvel Team Up 68. So maybe you want to go find that issue from 1978.
That would be cool to hunt down.
So there you go. We give you some info besides inappropriate gifts.
Can I just say I love all the key elements you always bring to the table, John. I feel like when I do the key elements, I'm like, what does
Key Collector say?
Yeah, what does this key collector? Let me just copy paste. What does the CGC say? Oh, CGC. Let me just copy paste. There it is. Key element.
So good. I'm gonna take my branding down here real quick because I can't see that upper corner. But we have 175 9/8 on the CGC census. Fair market value going back 30-day average, which there's not really any sales, is $160. Going back a year, $166. 9/6s, there's 156. 9/4s, 120. So not a ton of copies of this issue slabbed in super high grade. But the drop off is pretty steep by double to the 9/6s and then by a third down to the 9/4s.
Yeah. The 9/8, I'm kind of intrigued because that's pretty affordable, 160. And for a black cover like this, I just would think that it would be a lot harder to come by. I mean, 175 is a good amount, or I guess a fair amount, but it's still hard to find, in the wild, I'm sure, not as clean.
It says Justin will hunt and avoid for 1.7 years and counting. I don't even fully understand what's going on there.
I think he's referring to the annual 7 somehow.
Yeah, still waiting.
It's so interesting to see that these books, the value, the raise in value they've had in the past few years. Because this was Uncanny was dollar bin fodder, even in the 80s, in the 90s as well. You can get all of this stuff for 50 cents, 25 cents, 75 cents. And now you need about $30,000 to complete a John Byrne run.
Yep.
What is up? Scott from Hoarder's Hide is here. Scott, my man, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it, brother. And I don't have a lot of X-Men shirts. And don't shout me out for wearing the man's swag. I try to wear and represent my homies here. Hey, Brandon, you finally were willing to show up. And for those that don't know, that is Comics Kings. And that over there in the slideshows, also Comics Kings.
Part of the wraparound cover.
Part of the special wraparound.
I think I know that guy.
Chad, 90 miles from comics. What is going on, 90? Say hi to little 90 for us. Good to see you. So there we go. I guess that's issue 144, Brandon's favorite Cyclops episode and issue. And I can stop sharing that. There you go. Thank you again, Phable. You got to hang out with us when we're doing trivia here in a little bit, because Phable is going to be choosing the best funny answers to our trivia questions. That's how we end every episode of the Omni X-Men. We have 4 questions based on last issue 143 and the episode we did breaking it all down. So if you watched the episode, think you know the issue kind of, you can answer in the chat. First 2 correct answers get raffle ticket entries, and funniest answer based on Phable's responses, that gets a raffle ticket entry as well. So we will have as many as 12 raffle tickets per episode.
It's a good deal.
We got a ton of people on the list right here, and you can see where my guy Magic Lasso is kind of slaying this. So if you want to get in on this, you got to have that faster internet, and you got to beat Ryan in the chat because he's always throwing it in. Sorry, you didn't know you were on the show, Brandon. We had you on the show twice. Okay, so do you want to go first or second, Justin? What do you want?
I'll go first.
All right, here we go.
My first question is, and I will clarify, I am looking for first and last name here. First and last name of this answer.
God, little 90 is going to be 2 in 2 weeks. This is unacceptable.
Oh, man,
unacceptable. Yes, it is Rachel dinner time.
All right. So first and last name for this answer. The question is, who does Wolverine introduce to Professor X at the beginning of last issue?
Ooh. Could definitely be some funny answers in that question.
Looking for both first and last name.
Oh, wait. Is it Rachel Dinners?
like Chet's already at
He already gave his answer. He already guessed Rachel Dinners. Not Rachel Dinners.
Oh, yeah. JP, you're close. JP is close. Yeah. All right. I see the two. That was quick.
That was fast, and it was hey, no spelling was.
I was gonna say, can we check him here?
I want to double check that this is correct.
He's good. Yoshida.
Is it with an O Yoshida? Because
it's YA. It's YA.
It's YA. So climbing. Sorry,
Okay.
you're out. It is Lasso and Chet.
Okay. Yep.
And let's find something funny. We have here are some options. We have
good ones there.
Your mom. We got Joe Rogan.
Oh gosh.
We got his blow up doll Betty. We got Mrs. Wolverine. And I still think we should count Rachel Dinners as an option, but he already got a point. So did you have a preference there, Phable? Diana Ross, of course, came up as well, but I don't know.
Let's go with your mom.
Your mom, JP budget collecting.
Very straightforward.
JP,
yeah. I like it.
Perry is in the chat station. To you, Perry. Hope you're doing well, my
Perry.
man. All right, so my first question of the night. Let's see here. Last week had to deal with a demon that was attacking Kitty Pryde in the mansion, a demon that was a throwback to a character from a previous issue. And my question is, who originally let that demon out to attack the mansion? Who is responsible for that demon's being released in the very first place? Who do we blame besides Phable?
Yeah,
who do we blame?
I'll still get blamed somehow.
It was not Phable. I'll tell you that. Don't blame Phable this time.
We had to squeeze that in somewhere here.
Yeah.
Phable.
It's all your fault, man.
That's right.
If you guys don't know, this is the guy who made that blame Phable thing happen.
Doesn't yeah? See, club no good every time.
Yeah,
every time. No good. Let's see. Correct answer is here. And he had to pick Cyclops. He did it.
It's always his fault.
So Bobby Delgado.
Nice, Bobby.
Let's see. Bobby got a few of these. JP had to say it. Had to do it.
Nice. Bobby has a couple.
Bobby's got 7 now.
Nice. Bobby crushing it. Nice.
Other possible answers for who let the dog out would be Peter. Professor X came up a couple of times. Aladdin. Aladdin released the demon. Nightcrawler. Blame 90. He'll take the heat there. H.R. Geiger. Nothing worse than being attacked by semen. Demon. It was a demon. Scott. Did the mayor do it, or did J. Hood say it was your mom?
Your mom.
Wow. Any favorites in there, Phable?
What did TM say?
TM said the mayor did it.
Let's go with that one.
The mayor.
I didn't do it. I swear.
I don't know. I don't trust Club No Good. Anything.
I like blame a lot, so I'm glad you that.
It could have been Chode, but it was not. It was not Chode.
JP.
Who let the dogs out? Okay, so Justin, what is your second question?
Okay, second question is, we're gonna get some fun. Hopefully, we'll get some funny ones for this too. Why does Wolverine try to kill Nightcrawler?
So many reasons. I mean, it's hard to narrow.
Why does he try to kill Nightcrawler?
Could have been. I like the fact that you now call him Angus McSquirter.
Oh, Angus McSquirter.
Even you can't call him his actual name anymore.
Nope. That one highlight is going to make next year's highlight reel again, even though that was from season 1. Or when Chet just loses it.
It's worthy. It's absolutely worthy. So he did it because to kiss his girlfriend. He tried to kiss his girlfriend because he kissed his woman.
Yeah.
Well, are those two acceptable answers?
Those are acceptable. Yes.
Okay, so we got Chet. Did he misspell anything?
I questioned the tried because he did. He didn't try. He did it. But we'll give it to him. We're gonna give it to him.
Was it to get to the other side? Because he put out his cigar.
That would be real
for sleeping with his mom. Boy, we got a theme going tonight.
Yes,
Nightcrawler bamfed and blamed it on him. Because everyone has to try to kill Nightcrawler at least once.
Those are all good.
Any favorites in there, Phable?
I'm probably gonna have to go with Bobby.
There you go.
We got to take a shot at Nightcrawler at least once.
I mean,
nice. There you go.
He's asking for it.
At least
once.
Always trying to push his religion on people. Like, get out of here.
So pushy with it. Get away. You got to invent your own mutant religion. Really? All right. This is a great one because it came up tonight and last time. But oftentimes, the demon who attacked Kitty Pryde is mistaken for another mutant villain that they will first appear in a later issue. Hasn't even appeared yet in the Marvel universe at this point. Which mutant villain gets mistaken for the monster that is attacking Kitty Pryde in issue 143? Who do people think it is?
It's a good.
Who do you think it is?
It's a good question.
It could be a lot. I mean, it could be a lot of. It could be Kang. I mean, everything is Kang.
It could be Kang.
It could be Kang. Ooh, hard to beat these two. Chet, lowercase b, do we count it? I don't know. Lowercase b there. I'll let it slide.
Yeah,
I'll let it slide.
It's close.
But who else do we think? Was it Cyclops? I mean, maybe Harley Quinn.
Oh.
Your mom's? My mom's what? My mom's what? You put the apostrophe there. My mom's boyfriend? Your mama.
Your mama.
Or your mom.
The
or your mom.
The phalanx.
Okay.
Kang on the toilet. There it is. I liked your phone better. Your old phone was stolen, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. His
horticulture. It wasn't
God.
the blob. No, it was the boob.
The boob.
The boob, not the blob. That might have been a spelling mistake.
Yeah.
Actually, Cyclops' mom. Lots of answers there. Fable, did you have one that you liked more than another?
Well, first, I mean, there's a lot of evil moms out there, apparently. Like,
a lot of hate on moms tonight.
Yeah, the moms are terrible. I'm gonna go with the boob.
The boob. Chet with a bonus point.
I swear he meant to say blob too. He's getting it by
I
accident.
absolutely be willing to bet that. The bloob. That wraps it up. That is 4 questions, 12 raffle tickets thrown in.
Nice.
And we've wrapped another great issue of Claremont's Uncanny X-Men. Next week, 145 over on KnowGood Comics channel. So make sure that you've clicked the link and subscribed. Fable, man, you were awesome. Thank you so much for hanging with us, man.
Hell yeah, it was great. We got to have you again, man.
As soon as John hit me up, he was like, "Hey, you want to come on X-Men?" I said, "Do I?"
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
What?
Yeah.
Hang out with the mayor and you talking about X-Men? Come on.
What a better way to spend Tuesdays, right?
Absolutely, man.
I don't know what the worst issues of considered the worst issues of X-Men, but I would have came for those, man.
Nice. No such thing, Phil. We'll get there.
That's why I said I don't know if there's any, but if there are, I would have still been there.
We got a lot of Omni X-Men ahead of us, man. We're doing this for 10 more years.
I'm never going under 8. I'm never going under 8.
8.0. Even YouTube will die out and we'll still be doing this show.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't followed Fable, you're missing out on Whiplash Wednesdays. So you got to get over there, follow him on the Instagram, watch what he's doing because there's just lots of great new comic book day shenanigans and hilarity going on the Fables channel. Yeah. One collection down over on Instagram. So make sure you're following over there. Justin, he doesn't do a lot of stuff, but he might have a couple of videos later tonight.
The club is bumping. The club Club No Good. Stop on by anytime. You'll wait in the backstage.
Yeah, right.
Anytime. John's still backstage over on that.
I just leave that screen open and
that tab. It's just a tab.
That tab's always open. Yeah. I just hit refresh every once in a while.
Hey, I did want to add though. I am going to have Sleepy Reader 666 this Saturday, so that's going to be a fun one. Anyone that's been hanging out with him, or if they don't know him, should swing by because it's going to be a good time. So.
And better than that, he's got another show Saturday with this jackass right here.
Nice.
And more than that, fans of my channel should be aware because not only will I be there, but Kate and Charlie have agreed to hang out with this shenanigan as well, because they've never been to Club No Good and they want to get in this joint.
They're gonna be there. You're still gonna be backstage.
I'm gonna be backstage, but they're gonna get in, because that Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're gonna be talking about one of my daughter's favorite comics. They're gonna be talking about Ultimate Spider-Man by Bagley and Bendis.
Nice.
The first 7 issues. We're gonna get out our hardcovers. We're gonna decorate. We're gonna get it all crazy to talk about some Ultimate Spider-Man.
I think all of you have the hardcover. Victoria, I think she has the hardcovers too. She's going to be with us. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. So that'll be at 4. So 4 o'clock Saturday Eastern to 4 o'clock Eastern. So
yeah, very much looking forward to that. And I couldn't even stop. I read all 13 in that.
Yeah, you already jumped.
I read all of them. Well, I mean, because it's the first one is the Green Goblin story, but the second one's the Kingpin story, and I love the Kingpin stuff too.
Just can't stop.
Yeah, I just couldn't stop.
Nice.
What do you do? All right, so you will see me on his channel Saturday with the girls, and I'm sure he's got 7 other shows before then. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back here 1:45 next week on No Good Comics.
Yeah, man.
All right, everybody.